Good afternoon. I'm Barbara Coatney, and I am the inventor of TimeTouchTake medication dispenser system. Imagine this. You have a mother, grandmother, or maybe just a friend who has become ill and can't take their medication, so they can't live alone at home. I had this situation. My brother-in-law, Ronnie, he lived alone. He became blind because of diabetes, and he had no one to take care of him, so I did. But I couldn't be there with him all the time. So I had to come up with a way for him to take his meds when I was not able to be there. When I did this, I came up with TimeTouchTake medication dispenser system. One of the things that I did was, because I'm an old educator, I decided to write a paper and figure out, is there anyone here that is doing what I'm doing with him? And is that a problem? So I wrote a paper, sent it to USM. They told me I had a good idea. And that's where I began with this process. There are over 54.1 million seniors in this country. Of that number, 2 out of 3 take medication. They take 4 to 5 prescriptions every single day. And they fill 12 to 17 prescriptions a year. That's a lot of medication. There are over 4 million blind people in this country, and of that, there are 99,000 in Mississippi alone. The market share for medication systems is this. The CAGR will be 8.12% by 2027. By 2027, there will be $3.9 million in the global market. In the US, it'll be $1.1 billion. And TimeTouchTake plans to take 0.2% by 2025. The problem is this. As we get older, our fingers get stiff, and we have a little less dexterity in our fingers. And the pills are hard to get into the container, or they're hard to stay in our finger. You know, when you put them in your finger, they drop through. The pills are small, and sometimes when you go to the doctor just does not have the time to explain what every pill does and what it looks like. This problem must be addressed. There are 6,000 to 9,000 people who die every year from medication errors. Of that number, 64% are 75 years of age and older. 40% of the people who are 65 and older have a memory loss. The market is this. There's lots of medication systems out there. There are 8 leading medication systems out there for home use. But TimeTouchTake is a little different. Where we differ is we want to be tactile, because if you're blind, you got to be able to feel with your fingers. Our system, the bottles are large enough to hold in your hand. And the other thing that we do is the caregiver must be in the home every 7 days. And that's very important if you're taking care of someone who's elderly and that's sick. The other people that are in the market, other companies that are in the market, they have that leave it and forget it attitude. 30 days, 90 days. That's a long time not to be in the market, to be in the home. So, to see if there was anyone out there thinking the way I was thinking, I did a study, I did a survey, and I surveyed 100 people. And these are two of the main questions I asked. The first one was, would it be helpful for you to have a bottle that you could hold in your hand? And 68% of those people said, yes, I'd love to have a bottle big enough to hold in my hand. Not only will the bottle, you hold it in your hand, but it will flip. The next big question I asked is, how helpful would it be to have a reminder to take your medication? If you're like me, I need one. Most people do. So, over 70% of those people said, yes, I'd love to have a reminder to take my medication. Who completed the survey? I really think it's a bad idea to survey people who are not going to use it. So, the people who I surveyed were blind, physically disabled, and senior citizens. Again, I told you the market is out there with medication systems, but they don't address the real problem. If the pills fall down in a cup, they're going to knock it over if you're blind. Maybe if you're just physically disabled. The media cube, you just push it through your hands like this. My 90-year-old uncle was using one this weekend, and I asked him the same thing, what's the problem? And he told me. The Philips, the same problem, and the Levi. My plan and my prototype that I have built, it is a smart device, it's innovative, easy to use, and helpful. It's called TimeTouchTake. This is a picture of the prototype. You'll see the bottles are large. Now, I know you know those are seasoning bottles, but this is what it's looking like now. It's color-coded, and the reason we have it color-coded is these are the colors that blind people or visually impaired people can see best. It has the caregiver in the home every 7 days. The technology is there, and we're going to have a sales or rental. And the reason for a rental is in Mississippi, you cannot buy a medication system with Medicaid or Medicare. You can only rent it. The system will have a closed lock top for people, and it will be locked with the primary caregiver having that app. And the reason for that is I know you know that when people get old and they're taking real serious medication, someone can steal the medication, so there will be a lock on the top. And then we'll have a container to hold those bottles in. Here is a person who's actually using the medication system. I wanted you to see that.
This one. And that's it.
Oh, okay, so you fill the bottle up and this just drops the bottle.
Yes, it drops the
Okay.
bottle. And
3, 4, and that's the 4 bump dots for the fourth
right.
one of the day.
And what it's going to be, we're going to have a little chute right here where the mouth part, right here.
Mm-hmm. Down
No, right here on the bottle.
here. Oh, okay.
On the bottle, we're going to have a little mouthpiece there in case, if you don't want to open the bottle and take your meds, you can just take it and put it up to your mouth and take your medicine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because one of the things about people with diabetes and high blood pressure is the little bitty pills that they have to take, and those are the ones that are being dropped on the floor.
Yeah, lisinoprils, I drop them all the time.
Okay. And the other thing about the bottles is if you drop it on the floor, the design that we're going to have is like this one. If you drop it on the floor, the bottle is not going to roll.
It's also not going to break.
No. See, you drop it on the floor, it's just going to...
Kind of bounce a couple of times, but stay in the same place. You're just not going to go across the floor.
Right. That's exactly.
That's a good thought. Because that happens a lot. I like it. One of the things I was thinking about was if somebody would have... I listen to a lot of blind podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorite podcasts is this guy in Scotland, blind guy. And he's got a bad tremor in his left hand, but this is something that somebody with a tremor can still easily operate it.
Yes, and we're going to try to put a buzzer in here and make the buttons probably a little bit easier for you to push in, because
That's an actual user that is blind. So when I finished that I did 28 people to make sure that the prototype was working. And I asked 2 questions for him. The first one was, do you think this dispenser would solve a problem for you? And you can see it said save time, save money, save time. I take my medication regularly, and it would reduce errors. The next one I asked, would you purchase a medication system such as this? And of course, overwhelmingly, they said yes. So, what is needed to grow this company? $325,000 to grow this company, and these are the things that I would purchase. By the 14th month, I will be out of the red with the medication dispenser system. Are we ready? Yes, we're ready. We have our design done, and I also have my prototype with me. We have a packaging system ready, manufacturers on board. We have storage and office space, marketing, distributors, the legal. I'm on my non-provisional patent, and I have the app developer on board. We want to launch in December, And these are my customers, the insurance companies, senior citizens' homes, veterans, distributors, and direct sales. And I've talked to all of these people. How I'm going to attain new customers is through educational campaigns. I love speaking at conferences, and so I will be speaking at the Council on Aging Conference in Atlanta, a referral program, social media, the new product launch, and customer-driven design campaign. This is my team. My design team, George Harden, he's in the audience, and he is my mentor. He's been my lifesaver. Stuart Whitaker and Dr. Roy, I cannot say her first name. And my production team is there, and my legal team. I have 1 minute. I can tell you that I do have an advisory board. I have 2 people on my advisory board at this time, and I contact them constantly, asking questions about business ideas and how does this idea sound to you? And these people have over 30 years experience between the 2 of them, and that is Dave Dennis and Tom Hampton. Are there any questions? Yes.
What prevents the patient from taking 2 or 3 days worth of medication on one day?
When you fill the medication dispenser, the caregiver fills the medication dispenser once a week. When they put the medication in the bottle, they only put it for that one day. And when the buzzer goes off, say the buzzer goes off at 8 o'clock in the morning, the other times of day is locked. They can only press that button one time, and the bottles fall down for that one time. And that keeps them from taking an overdose. Are there any other questions? Yes.
Early in your presentation, you had a lot of survey results. How large was your survey?
My first survey, I had 98 people. My second survey, where I did the hands-on survey, I had 28 people. Are there any other questions? Thank you for your time, and I do appreciate Innovate Mississippi.